Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is the ABM All By Myself podcast, episode 19, TGIF. Thank God that it's Friday. However, if you're watching this on any other day, TGI, whatever day it is. If it's Friday, though, nothing better than kicking your weekend off by liking, commenting, subscribing, and the icing on the cake, ringing that notification bell, ding dong, to make sure that on a daily basis you are notified in real time when these episodes go live. Like we talked about, the newest game going around, who can share this first? And sharing is caring, guys, and no better way to care about your friends than to bring them in on this podcast. And the best way to do that, of course, is by ringing that notification bell. So in the last few episodes, we've been doing a lot of talking about drug use, and then we really started bringing in breaking the law. So I figured we would go ahead and meld those two together, since you guys have been enjoying the topic so much, and talk about the first time I got a DUI. Yes, I got multiple, but let's just start with the first. To give you some backstory, I was 21 years old. I had been drinking since I was a teenager, but once you turn 21, the legality changes everything. At any point, you could walk into a bar, you could legally buy a drink, no big deal. You don't have to go to the AM PM and hope that they don't card you. You don't need to know an older friend or have an older brother that could buy you beer. It is just a free world for you getting your alcohol on. So I was 21, and it was a Friday, and I had a couple of friends that wanted to meet up at this bar in Hollywood, and then after that, go to a club. So it was, maybe 5 or 6 o'clock. I was getting ready. I was all jazzed out, and then I was trying to reach out to my buddies, but they weren't answering just yet. I figured, hey, you know what? They're probably busy. They're pre-gaming it too. They're getting themselves together, or maybe they're still at work. I don't know necessarily, but I know that it's going to take me about an hour to get to Hollywood, and if I hit major traffic, I'm not going to be there until way late in the night. So I want to get going, so I'm on my way. I tried to reach out again to my buddies, but I ain't hearing back, so I just figure, fuck it. I'll go to the bar, enjoy myself for a little bit, and before I know it, we'll all be celebrating the night together, and we will head off to this magical club. So I get to the bar, I would say probably around 8 o'clock or so, and I walk in, and there's this huge group of Irish-looking gentlemen, and it's intriguing to me. I'm like, wow, I'm Irish too. Very cool. A whole group of people with red hair. How often am I going to experience this in life? So I go over, I introduce myself, I ask them what they're doing there, if they're from the area, and they inform me that they're on a nationwide trip going from all the way from like New York or Vermont or something like that, all the way to California on their motorcycles. And after tonight, they had one more stop. So they were doing a little pre-celebratory event at this bar, and they had invited me to join in on the festivities with them. So they ordered a round of Guinnesses, which is a very popular drink amongst the gingers. We all slammed down a Guinness. I believe I bought them a round. And then for the next probably hour or two, we just hung out. We kept drinking. I let them know that I felt like I had a very high tolerance. So we chugged a couple, back and forth, and had a little drinking contest, and we ended the night on a draw. I let them know that it was already like 10 o'clock. I hadn't heard from my buddies yet, and I was just thinking I'm going to head back into Long Beach, see what's going on locally, and just continue my night like that. I'm having too much fun to just wait here forever. I'm heading the fuck out. So we all say our goodbyes. I let them know that I'm excited about them ending their journey. Congratulations. If I'm in Venice, which I believe is where they were ending it the next day, I said, hey, if I'm in Venice tomorrow, I'll stop by and I'll have another celebratory round with you. So I get into the car, I start heading into Long Beach, and then I call one of my buddies up. I call Chris, actually, Capiche. You guys know Capiche, and also he has a new podcast, the Downpour Podcast with John Kay. Make sure you go check that out. But yeah, so I call up Chris, and I let him know that I'm coming back from Hollywood. The plans were a bust, and I'm looking for a party. And he tells me that at the moment he doesn't know of anything necessarily, but he'll keep me updated. And I tell him, oh shit, dude, there's actually a cop right behind me. Let me hang up. I gotta go. So I hang up the phone very abruptly, and I keep driving for about 15 to 20 minutes. I'm calling a few other people, and they're telling me kind of the same thing as Chris, but they're saying, hey, if you meet up at this one person's house, we're all gonna go to a party at some point, so just meet up and hang out. So I'm driving, and I'm maybe 25 minutes away from my ultimate destination, and Chris gives me a call to let me know that now he's aware of a party. I can meet him directly there and we're on and popping for the night. And ironically, the last time I had talked to Chris, there was a cop behind me. However, I did not get pulled over. This time I was on the phone with Chris and I told him, oh, dude, there's another cop behind me. They lit me up. And then I said, dude, I gotta go. I hung up. I got off of the freeway and the cops at that point, stopped me. They told me to turn the engine off, open my window, all that stuff. And then they walk out and tell me that the reason that I have been pulled over is because I was driving in the carpool lane. Now, guys, I don't want to give you any kind of like hacks on how to get out of a DUI or how to not get a DUI. It's very simple. Don't drink and drive. Take a Uber. There was no Ubers back in this time, but that is no excuse for me to be such a moron than to have a drinking contest at a bar and think driving home was a good idea. So the cop tells me that I was in the carpool lane, which I replied, oh, I didn't know that, so I really am sorry. He didn't take the apology as like something that could solve the problem. However, he told me, I'm getting a slight smell of alcohol from you right now. Why don't we go ahead and do a few tests? So I'm thinking, fuck, I think they got me. So he gets me out of the car. I'm walking, in a straight line. And in your head, when that stuff is going on, you're thinking you're doing kind of well. And you get this false sense of cockiness. And I think it's within that brief moment that you fuck up the most and they know that they got you. However, they knew that they had me from the jump. I probably looked trashed. I smelled like alcohol. They just needed some concrete proof that I was under the influence. So they give me the sobriety test. I fail. They do the whole say the alphabet backwards, which I'd have to be on some super unlimited drug to even be able to do that. So in a sober mind, I couldn't. So they asked me to do that, to walk in the line, all that, follow the laser with your eyeballs. I fail. And then they put me in the back of the cop car. And then I tell them, I really, really got to go to the bathroom, guys. I'm going to piss my pants. So is there any way I can use a restroom? Because they had pulled me over somewhere near a gas station. And in my head, I just thought, just walk me over there. Let me take a piss. No big deal. To me, they said, we'll be at the station in no time and you can go there. And unfortunately, I could not hold it and I did pee on myself a little bit in a cop car. So I peed in the cop car. Very embarrassing, but what are you going to do? I'm pretty sure they have seats that are made out of plastic because they know people are going to pee on these seats. So no harm, no foul. So they take me to the station. I get the breathalyzer, all of that good stuff. I blow like a 0.18, which is horrible. A 0.08 would be the legal limit. And I have to say, I don't remember a whole lot about the release process. I think that I stayed the night in jail and then my mom was able to pick me up the next day. And I don't remember my mom being necessarily super pissed off. I just remember it being thank God I'm okay. And obviously we have some stuff to work on here if I'm out here getting DUIs and shit. So let's go ahead and fast forward. When you get a ticket like that, on the ticket, it will tell you the day that you need to go to court. So I had court in the city of Compton, So, I had court. It was 2 months out of when I got this ticket. They did let me know that my license immediately was going to be suspended. I would have to chalk it up with the DMV in order to figure that out. But more than likely, the DMV would ask that I finish some court-ordered stuff. So don't even worry about it until I go to court. So at that point, I officially had no car. I don't even remember what happened to the car, to be honest with you, that I got the DUI in. But I didn't have a car, nothing like that. And we had court. So fast forward 2 months, and my mom is now taking me to the Compton courthouse. And I remember this day, we're feeling minorly optimistic. A matter of fact, my mom was always very into the kind of music that I liked. At that point, I was very into underground hip hop, even some mainstream hip hop. And one of the songs in particular that I enjoyed, actually two that I could remember. One was The Road to Zion with Nas and Damian Marley. I remember us bumping that heavily. And then there was also a Game song. It wasn't on one of his main CDs. It was actually on some sort of a mixtape that I had acquired, and we were listening to that. So you can picture me and my mom. We just happened to be in I believe it was a red car. I think it was a red car, a little Chevy. We were driving through Compton, bumping the Game, two redheaded individuals. I guess I'm not going to say too much, but if you know anything, driving through Compton in a red car with red hair, listening to the game is a very niche thing to do. It's not something that everybody's trying out to accomplish in the day. So we end up at the courthouse. We go into the room that was appointed to us on the ticket, and we just kind of wait. Now, typically you would have some sort of a court-ordered attorney or something like that. So I do talk to somebody who lets me know that once they call my name, they will be helping me. But pretty much you just say guilty or not guilty. I don't remember which one they tell you to say, but they tell you to say something. They give you the sentence, which is usually a fine, some sort of court-ordered classes, maybe some community service, and then you go from there, and then you pay up and you do your time. So we're there, like 8 o'clock, and then 8 o'clock goes by, 9 o'clock goes by, 10 o'clock goes by, and my name is just not getting called. But people left and right are going up. They're getting like a 6-month DUI class plus 50 hours of community service plus 10 AA meetings, and I'm pretty aware of what I'm in for, but I just wanted to get over with at this point. So now it's a lunchtime break. It's from like 12 to 2, and they let us know that because we go up and we ask, we say, hey, I haven't been called up yet. I didn't even see my name on the list outside, so I'm just curious if I'm here on the right day. Can you look at my ticket? They look at the ticket. They tell me, yes, this is the right room. This is the right day. However, you're probably towards the end of the second session. They might not have updated the list yet, so you might want to come back around 3 o'clock or so, from 3 to 5, but be here at 3, and then by 5 o'clock, your name should be called, and you'll be good to go. So me and my mom, we had like 3 hours to kill, and my mom was so rad. She said, let's take a drive out to the beach and just kind of cruise, get our mind off of things, and let's just see what presents itself. So I remember we went down to Seal Beach, which is kind of like the older people's Huntington Beach, I would say. Very cool. We go down to Seal Beach, and we end up going into a music store, and she buys me a guitar. I think the idea was I'm going to have a lot of free time on my hands. I'm not going to be driving. I'm not going to be going out and partying. I'm pretty much on a more or less a house arrest situation. So maybe let's get a guitar so I could learn to play this instrument and just really learn a skill during this time instead of getting depressed. I believe that was the motivation behind buying the guitar. So I love you, Mom. Thank you so much for doing that for me instead of just being super mad about it. So we get the guitar. We end up going back to Compton, 2, 3 o'clock, whatever the case may be. And we look at the list. They haven't updated it. My name is still not on there. And so we just end up sitting in the court and say, fuck it. At some point, they got to call my name. We're here. That's what matters. And we're just going to wait it out. So 5 o'clock comes. My name has not been called. We go up to one of the people that works at the court and we say, hey, my name never got called. I really want to get this taken care of. And what can I do? And they said, well, you might want to go take it up with one of the cashiers or the clerks and ask them. They're going to know a lot more about the going-ons of who's being seen today than I would. So we go to this cashier, this clerk, and they tell us that they can't even actually find the file. And if they can't find the file, the best thing that we can do is now go upstairs, go to the main clerk's office, and see if they can tell me when I'm supposed to come to court, because obviously I wasn't on the list for that day. So we go upstairs, we go to the main clerk's file, center, and then we tell them my name, Jared Yaw. I had court today, but they never called me up. Can you give us some insights? So they tell me that they don't see my name either right away, but they're going to go check for it. So they go back and they check for it and they say, oh, you know what? We actually do have your file, but they never actually processed it. So I would just keep an eye open in the mail. But as of right now, technically, you don't have any kind of a charge. So I thought, holy shit, this is amazing. I don't even have a DUI. What am I going to do with myself? I mean, I don't understand the DMV situation, but maybe they'll make it easy to get my license back. This was a minor roadblock, but I'm getting back in the swing of things. I'm back in the game, but I am thinking I'm probably not going to drink as much as I used to. So, we go back home. We're very excited about this. We're like thanking God that maybe my paperwork got lost, but it's a good thing. I don't have to deal with all of these legalities and all the money that it's going to cost to get a DUI. And sure enough, 2 days later, I did get a letter in the mail, and it said I now had court on another day, which was in a few days from then, or maybe a week or so. I ended up going to court. They gave me the DUI classes to get my license back. They gave me a fine. I had to do a couple, maybe some community service, but at that point, it was official. I had the charge, I had the DUI, and I had to pay the penalties. And when I went into court, the public defender actually told us that if we would have not gone to the clerk and brought it up, that they would have never pulled that file unless I got another DUI. They would have never even seen it. So it was probably a blessing in disguise, because if I did end up getting a second DUI and they would have found out that they never charged me for the first, and who knows that wouldn't have been worse for me in the long run. But yeah, so I guess if you go to court and they don't call your name, just play it by ear at that point. Maybe don't go to the clerk. Don't push so hard for them to look for your file, and just see how it plays out. And don't drink and drive. Definitely don't drink and drive, guys. If there's anything I want you to take away from this episode, besides the 15 minutes of your life that you could have gotten back, don't drink and drive. And on that note, what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to end this off with a little freestyle. I'm realistically about 15% in my element right now, onto being in the greatest freestyling mindset possible. So we're just going to see what happens today. Thank you guys so much for watching this, and let's keep this rocking. Let's do this. This beat is by Netro. We were talking about driving under the influence. When I was stupid, what the hell was I doing? I was really just dumb and fucking stupid, maneuvering through the times when I was doing things like going up in the parking lot, taking shots, and then I was saying things like, fuck the cops, they'll never catch me, they'll really never arrest me. But guess what? That was me in life being testy. And on one day, coming back from Hollywood, I was going to Long Beach thinking all is good. In the carpool lane, I got pulled over. The cop stopped and said, I can smell it, you're not sober. So walk in a straight line, say the alphabet backwards, and even then make it rhyme. I was like, damn, I can't do that anytime. And right now I'm fucking drunk, and I don't want to say I'm lying, but I'm not drunk, officer. I'm sober. And that's the second when he said it's all over. We're going to the station, you about to get booked, and the food that you about to eat is not home cooked. I said, damn, this is ruining my life. He said, yeah, that's a life of crime. The good thing is they're not going to register the paperwork. So unless you remind the clerk, they're not even going to do anything about it. But that's cool, because we and my mom, we went and we was about it. We went upstairs and told the clerk we ain't getting called yet. And they said, don't worry, we'll have a call set. That was pretty long. That was probably the longest freestyle. Guys, I don't know if it read through in the moment, but there was a lot of passion involved in that. And it's all the energy that you're giving me in the comments. So thank you guys so much for all that you do on your end. I'm going to keep on doing these. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I will see you, or better yet, you will hear me tomorrow. And on that note, God bless.